Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'd like to introduce you to the two of the two of the greatest alumni Tuscola High School ever saw.
Becky, get over here.
Since they're, since there's not they're not here, but so instead we'll introduce you to
No,
the runners up somewhere along the line. Mike Carroll, Bill Englehardt,
There you are.
and
you go. Yeah, we actually did graduate.
We actually made it.
I was in the top 95% of the class.
yeah.
You know, at the start of the school year, David, it always, you reflect back on your starting days. I hope you had good starting days. We often did, didn't we? They used to line us up in the gym. And,
I was always late. I missed
well, yeah.
I missed the starting date. I came in mid-year for basketball season.
Well, you were there for football practice.
Yeah, I made football.
I think my first day of kindergarten, I think my mother walked me to school, and that was the end of that. You're on your own after that.
Mm-hmm.
When did kindergarten start? We never had kindergarten, did we?
Well, I went to kindergarten in Southern Illinois.
I didn't.
Well, yeah, they called it high school down there.
When I came here, I started in first grade, and I suppose mother walked me up there, but that was it.
You said down at Golconda in the second grade, your classmates were your uncles. Is that right?
No.
No,
I did.
My oldest brother and sister went to kindergarten at the First Christian Church. They did a kindergarten. They didn't have it at the school yet.
That.
And I think Doris Pickett was our teacher.
My first 4 years were at the old North Ward, where
Mhm.
Quentin Weber built those houses.
Mr. Taylor was the custodian.
Mr. Taylor was the custodian, wonderful guy. Had a basement down there. That's where the bathrooms were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The first North Ward, not the second one,
Very first North
or
Ward.
the third one.
Yeah.
It was built in about 1895.
2 basketball rims, one
All right.
right behind the school and one out on a tree across from Shorty Moran's
No
house.
net. Right.
No net.
No net.
We used to argue if the ball went through.
Mm-hmm.
The baseball diamond home plate, you were hitting south.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really could crank one, you could almost hit the Nazarene church.
And you got spanked because you did.
Well,
they told
us not to run across the road, Enzie Street, and I kept running across the road. And Mrs. Roderick called me into the office and said, "I've told you not to run across the road." And I said, "But how can we keep playing softball if I don't get the softball?"
Mm-hmm.
And she beat me with a wooden paddle. And I remember going home thinking, "Oh boy."
Did she hit you in the head or the rear end?
Well, you don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I got home and my mom was waiting with the belt because Mrs. Roderick called her and said, "You have a son that doesn't listen. And I have 2 wives that will testify to that." Becky, are you going to chime on or not?
She's chiming.
Becky, are you chiming?
I think she's trying to ignore you.
That's the other thing I'm known for.
Well, my wife told me 2 things. She says, I don't listen to her, and something else.
Mm.
And you said, "What'd you say, hon?" Well, we're about out of here. We made it this far.
Yeah.
Amazing. We made it this far.
It is. But I initialed everything this morning. It's over.
It's over. It's over. I can die
Roy
now.
Orbison.
It's over.
Oh, geez. Show the pictures. Oh, God.
Oh boy. That looks like Juanita Michener on the right.
No, I don't believe so.
Maybe not. Is that Southward?
That's Southward. Looking back at that the house on the corner. Was that Hackelman's?
I do think Hackelman's live there. Those are teachers there. Who are they?
I don't know.
Well, the one on the left.
I don't have names. Of course, I just posted them this morning.
Hmm.
All right. You might know some of these.
Okay.
I see Polig,
That's Jim Polig in the front.
Cox.
Ed Cox on the second row left. To the right is Jim Baird.
Mm-hmm.
Number 38 is Bob Beasley. I think the guy with the t-shirt is Bob Travis.
Think so.
Maybe.
I don't know.
47 looks like a Schaefer.
I think you're
But that's,
right.
but that's Beasley 38.
And that's taken at the high school. You see the
Yeah.
old block? That's when the school was new.
Yeah, this is probably 56, 7 or 8.
8. Somewhere in there.
They played football at the field before the school opened up a couple years, 2 or 3.
47, is that
Looks like
Snyder?
Denny Schaefer. Looks like Denny Schaefer. Who do you say it is?
well,
You
show a
know
gobble
what? You know
tag.
what? You know what? I think 47 is Kenny Snyder.
Kenny Snyder, yeah.
Yeah. That's Kenny Snyder, the fullback, and that's
Oh my goodness.
Beasley. I think that's Beasley in the that's Bob. It doesn't
You
look
think
like
it's-
Bob Travis, but it doesn't look like Kenny Snyder either. These guys are young.
I mean, this is young men.
This might be 56, and these guys graduated in 58 or 59. But Beezer, I'm sure Jim Baird graduated with Utterback and those guys in 58 or 9.
Utterback was driving that old 39. I think it's
Yeah.
a 39 through town yesterday.
Beautiful car.
Man.
These guys might have been sophomores this year. Might have been their sophomore year. That's why they look so young.
Okay.
Kenny Snyder, I'll be darned.
Because I think there's another picture of him coming up sometime.
I figure out what church that is.
Church, where do you see a church?
Well,
Well-
you're looking, there's a church.
Oh, it could be a
there.
school, I guess. We've seen so many church. I'm so focused on trying to see Bill inside a church.
We got Bill inside a
Is that a
church.
56? Is that a 56 Olds back there?
No, I don't know. The cars are even, is this a Chrysler? I mean, look how long that thing is in the front,
Or DeSoto?
possibly.
A lot of these pictures coming up were taken at the courthouse.
Well, that could be that's not Milas Thomas's house, I don't think. Well, that's jury duty. They're out voting, guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
Budge McCown,
Mm-hmm.
Harrison J. McCown, wonderful shot. He was state's attorney in 56, I think. I don't know who's on the right there.
I don't know, but Budge is awfully interested in whatever he's looking at.
Yeah. Good picture of Harrison J.
Young man there.
Young man,
Yeah, they're
back from the Korean War.
I don't know why they're all outside. I don't know what's going on that
Fire drill.
although this may be, is this outside or inside?
That's
out.
outside.
Outside, yeah.
In fact, it looks like it might be the west entrance or back door.
Hmm.
Oh, that was
So-
the,
Looks like you've been out driving again.
I have. That middle car looks like a 57 Ford.
There's some sort of significance to this picture because there are a bunch of high school boys standing over here.
Bad wreck.
Bad wreck. When we used to have wrecks and Ford Garage would haul them in, we'd all go down and look at the wrecks.
Well,
Looks
state-
like the car in the middle may have T-boned this other car.
yeah. Yeah, I would not want to be the one got T-boned.
That's about a 56 Chevy station wagon down there.
Where at the end?
Yeah,
Yeah, 55, 56. Is that a 57 Ford though, I think?
I can't tell if that's 57.
Got a couple motorcycles over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those boys just rode up on those cycles. Okay. Oh, here we go. Man, look at there, Paul Donnelly,
On the right is Paul Donnelly, Denny Long,
Russ Long.
Russ Long. The tall guy is Jim Weber, I think. That's elites. The blonde guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. Blonde guy is
John Gernon.
John Gernon. That is Gary Martin, the
Mhm,
next one.
I think.
This is Wagner right here, and that's your
Bruce,
Bruce Weatherford,
Charlie
Charlie
Cooley.
Cooley, Jim Rice in the
Yeah,
back.
that is Jim.
This Ronnie Stabler, or is that a Stabler?
Sure looks like it. Mhm.
These
Jim
guys-
looks like Gordon there.
Yeah, Jim was Jim graduated in about, this is probably 60.
These guys graduated about 62.
Mhm. Roy
That-
Leeds. The fourth one in
Roy
is Roy
Leeds.
Leeds. And John Gernon, his dad ran the Gernons.
I played golf with Big John Gernon.
His dad ran Gernons, which is Tuscola's Mel's
Drive-In.
Mel's Drive-In,
Mhm.
American Graffiti.
This is the building's the high school, the current
Yeah,
high
that's the
school.
high school. Looks like Warren Thompson back there.
Possibly.
We got to get rid of this so we can see these other, there's guys in the shadow here.
Yeah, Bob Taylor said third from left, white shirt looks like Ronnie Stabler.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Ronnie.
Randy West says Gary Martin in the striped shirt.
Yeah, striped
Mhm.
shirt. Fourth one we got Gary.
Max
Yep.
Albritton says Russ Long, second from right.
Yeah. Paul Donnelly's in. That's easy.
Yeah.
We got a lot of comments on this one. So these were class of 62. So they're probably freshmen in this picture, maybe.
Yeah, or sophomores, maybe.
Could be,
Freshmen or sophomores.
yeah.
God, that looks like
Helen Fortney.
Helen Fortney. I was gonna
Second,
say.
second to the right, Helen Fortney with Renee Fortney. And that's Jim Fortney on the left.
It is,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's Jim Fortney on the
Jeez.
left. Helen, he's an Arcola boy, good
He
track
was good, really good in track.
sprinter. Helen was our clerk. And that's little Renee, 2 boys and 1 girl. Don and
Don always looked like his mother.
yeah, what was the older brother? Jim
Jim.
Fortney, named after his dad.
10 points if you know what the occasion is.
Well, I'm saying this is
What's this up here say? Received something.
So if you
Wait.
figure out what the building is, that might be a clue.
it looks like it's a train depot, the B&O. I don't know.
Me neither.
Shelley Fortney says Jim Fortney, Virginia Fortney, Helen Fortney, Vivian Fortney, and Renee Fortney in front. And Michael Fortney says Aunt Virginia leaving for Germany to teach and study.
Well, we got the train station.
You got the train station.
That must be Don's grandmother.
Mhm.
So headed to Germany and they all pose for a picture.
It's in the high school. There's Bob Stout.
Bobby Stout, Jim Weber behind him.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at the young ladies now. We have to really focus in.
Libby ought to be here, right there. Second row on the right is
You think
Libby Kegley
could
Cox
be.
with the white glasses.
Yeah.
Carolyn Leeds back here.
Is that Marcia Graham?
Marcia Graham's right next to Carolyn Leeds. There's Jane Rothgibb,
Yep.
Mary Denny Hackett. Jan Charnetsky's in there. Judy Wright.
There's this girl sitting behind Jane Rothgibb is Annette McCaney, I believe.
Uh-huh.
She was our neighbor.
Nancy Jones says, girls from class of 62. Sandy Fuller says, I'm right behind you in the second row.
Sandy Fuller's the blonde, I
blonde.
think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Second one in from the right. Libby Kegley's on the right, second row.
Bob Taylor says, second row on the left, Bob Stout.
Yep.
Yeah. Right behind him is Jim Weber. Yeah.
So that's the former cafeteria, which is now stage 301.
Mm-hmm. Is Bill in this church anywhere? I'm assuming it's a church.
It looks like it.
Looks like it. I don't see Bill though.
They might have asked me to leave.
That's not the Baptist church, I don't think, is it?
I don't know. It doesn't look familiar to me.
Back to the girls.
This is first day of school. I bet money.
Yeah, once again, we got, third one, Gerald Wellborn, that's Bert Keish. Third one in from the left is Bert. Isn't that Bert?
It looks like Bert. He's got that dark hair.
Yeah. Carolyn Leeds, Jane Rothgeb, Marcia Graham. There's Libby turning sideways. Something's going on. Somebody's in the fight.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Those
just
fights fought a lot, 62.
Yeah.
Ray Reedy. Let's see. Oh boy.
Nope.
I've seen
Wow.
that picture of that flag before. That's kind of
Not a pharmacist. He's got a compounder up there where you can
yeah,
mix
he's got a mortal and pestle, is that what they call that?
pestle and mortar. And he's got some kind of a furnace or something behind. He can bake it.
A
Yeah, I
kiln.
don't know. It looked
Kiln?
kind of like medicinal, some kind of chemistry lab or some.
Yeah. What if that was the old what if that was the old Northward Chemistry Lab?
Possibly, I suppose.
But you don't know who he is.
No.
No, it's not Bill Burris who taught
But
science.
it looks like an Izod. Is that a turtle or?
Munsing wear.
Oh my God, I'm Izod. Yeah, he's trendy.
Yeah, he's when
Looks
did
like
this
the
come
old-
out?
It's like the old Northward. Not the old Northward, the old Northward.
The second North Ward.
Second Northward.
But if it is, it would be when it was a high school.
Yeah, they still went there until 59, I think.
Yeah, they did.
I
That
don't have
probably,
any comments yet on that one, so don't know.
that's Mrs. Hauser.
Second one in on
Second.
the right.
Second right, Mrs.
Mrs.
Hauser.
Hauser.
Uh,
Something to do with American Legion.
mhm,
She always presented the Legion Awards.
mhm. Well, we're back to that
Yeah.
outside the courthouse.
Yeah. But it does look like a lot of note taking or something, some little papers in their hands and
Yeah.
something going on.
Okay, now
The boys' side.
third one in the left side is Jim Manwaring, Jim Rice, and then Ray Reedy. Fourth one in. So third one in from the left, Jim Manwaring, Jim Rice, Ray Reedy,
Uh-huh.
and Charlie Cooley.
Yeah.
Back row left to right is Ronnie Stabler, Howard Patterson, Wagner. I can't forget his
Roy
Ray-
Leeds.
Roy Leeds. What's his name? We talked about him. Russ Long.
Mhm.
Not sure about the next one. Next row, not sure. Gary Martin, Paul Donnelly, Gernon, John Gernon. Not sure. Back row all the way back.
Is that Brewer?
I thought this was Brewer right here.
Ralph
Another Brewer. Oh, they're right. There was Roy Brewer. And
was there a Ralph?
Roy, that's Roy Leeds.
Ernie Brewer.
Ernie Brewer on the front.
That's
row.
not Ernie though, I don't think.
Back row all the way to back row left. Second one in is Warren Thompson. Not sure. Looks like Ronnie Knapp. Not sure. Jim Weber. And there's Bruce.
Brucey.
Brucey.
Bill, you got to jump in. Mike's getting all the points.
Well, Bill knows him. But
Yeah.
I'm going to grab here's the deal. If I see something, I got to grab it because the next one I see, I'm not going to know anybody. It'll be a church and Bill claims that's going to be him standing there.
So this would have been about brand new high school 58. Now
Now-
I'm trying to figure out,
Now, just real quick here, go ahead.
well, who's directing here?
I love the third one in from the left.
Is Jim Manwaring?
Jim Manwaring was considered back when Tuscola when USI shut off our water and we were drilling wells and we were buying John Kenny's water company, we had to decide whether to drill water or hook up with Northern, which is called regionalization of water. And I was talking to Bob Shirey, the president of Illinois Water, and I said, what are the advantages, disadvantages of regionalization? He said, why don't you call your old buddy in high school, Jim Manwaring? He's the world's leading expert in water. He said he played football with you. So I called out to Breckenridge to the American Waterways Experiment, and Jim was down in Peru, set up a system. So Jim's right there was the world's leading expert in potable water across the world.
Kenny Michaels would have been the principal.
Well, you think Kenny Michaels in 56?
Yep, I do.
Or a 62?
Well, 62 was
Well,
Wayland,
These are probably freshman, sophomore.
but
So you
this
think
is
these are
nuts.
probably
these,
Sophomores.
this is like 58 when they were going into high school.
I think 59 was their first year. So 59.
You're thinking maybe this is the first freshman class of the new school?
Yeah, I think
Could be.
Libby Fox tells me, or Libby Kegley says she remembers carrying the books from the high school. They actually physically put them in their car and took the books and everything from the old high school to the new one in 59. They graduated 62. So
This was a really thin negative, so it's not a great picture.
Carroll Teeters.
But I did get a lot of names on it.
well, there's the Nunn twins on the left, I think are the Nunn twins, Nell and Ann,
Yeah,
Carroll Teeters. And in the back,
you're right. It is thin.
this is,
Far back right's Becky Hedinger.
and far left is Marsh, Sharon Marsh.
Is that Sharon and June Edwards?
I think so.
Did you get Dorothy Wilson?
No,
Hang on, I'll find, oh, that's Dorothy Wilson right here in the front,
Fourth
next
one?
to Carroll Teeters. Yeah, fourth one in, going from left to right,
and-
right? Am I
Yeah,
correct?
and did you get June Edwards?
yes, she
Yes,
was
got June Edwards.
second from left,
Yeah,
back row.
she disappeared. We don't know whatever happened to her.
Well, we do. She went down North Carolina.
Well, yeah, but she's never, once she left, she never made contact with any of
We
her
did.
friends.
We stayed with her. We went down to North Carolina, played golf at Highlands Country Club.
Yeah, but that's how many years
Well,
ago?
a couple of years.
Yeah.
Dorothy Feeler says this was June's birthday party.
George Edwards was president of the bank.
Yeah.
You know what? Is that Andre Englehardt standing back there in the back?
Well, let me
See
see.
right here?
I'm not sure. She's wearing glasses.
No, the one next to her, the taller one.
Well, it looks like she's wearing glasses to me.
Well, she might be. She wears glasses periodically.
Yeah, the negative wasn't very good, so I don't.
No,
didn't
it's not
give-
good.
So this
And
is-
she always looked good.
This is a class of 66 and
No,
67.
67.
Well, Sharon Marsh is 66.
Well, she was a friend.
No, but she was in your class, wasn't she?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
June Edwards is 67.
Yes. And the nun girls are 67.
So I said this is class of
Carroll
66
High.
and 67.
Huh?
This is class of 66 and 67.
Well, yes, it's mixed.
Well, it would be. That's
I'd say someone's either
going to Germany again.
someone's arriving or leaving.
She looks familiar on the left.
I'd say they're putting her on the train.
Illinois,
see.
it looks like the Illinois IC going north or south. But
Back
that
when the
looked-
train would stop in Tuscola.
Yeah, it would stop.
did the IC have brick or is that the B&O? Is this still the B&O? Which was
I don't know.
I don't think the IC building was brick.
It was wood. I think.
Huh.
Do you have any names on this?
I don't have names yet on this, but again, I just posted them this morning. So somebody will know them.
Mitchner will know him or
I
Taylor.
think my boys will put me on the train someday.
Yeah. Like Lincoln's last trip.
That little black train, it's coming.
It's coming. My condo made of stone.
Oh,
Okay,
here we go.
now. Bottom left, you want to do them or you want me to do them?
No, go ahead. I mean, I've got some in the back. row,
21 is
see.
Doug Green. 16 is Big Red Etzweiler.
Red
22 is
Etzweiler.
Rex Bridges.
Yeah.
17 is Snyder.
Snyder.
Uh,
That's
Jerry Snyder.
Jerry Snyder.
You do the back,
Well, that's Dave Thody.
right?
I don't have 23.
Okay,
2 is Jim Fortney.
right.
24 is Baird, is it?
I'm not sure.
And Bill
I know-
Alexander's 9.
I think 24 is Wendy Ron.
You're right. I knew that's close. I
And
just
9 is
didn't
Bill
have it.
Alexander, our superintendent's uncle. 23 is familiar. We should know 23. We got them all but 23. And he is familiar.
Well, I don't have his name online.
Go get it.
I think that's the only one you don't have. That'll make him feel good. So
So
somebody,
this is probably, this is shot in 56 and these guys are freshmen or sophomore. That looks like Jim Baird, but I don't know. That's Illinois' new uniform.
Did you see that in the paper? Man, that's kind of,
The helmets have got to be $1,000. They had to
one
spend,
time.
they spent $50,000 for one game.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the helmet. When I played, we just put a banana peel over our head.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe they had plastic back then. Now here we go. This is, oh boy. Back when yards had a lot of apple trees and pear trees.
People believed in screens upstairs,
Yes, they
open the
did. No air,
windows,
no air
no
conditioning.
air conditioning.
I
Yeah,
don't know what they were taking a picture of because, the house is not the focus.
No. I don't know.
So I don't have any information on this one.
It's a funnel cloud coming in.
look how they run. Okay, go ahead, Jim or Ingo.
That's Ed Cox on the right, Jim Baird, and that was Baird
That was
because
Jim
he had
Baird.
on that number.
Yeah,
Kenny Snyder. Who's the big guy?
Colby Coffee.
Colby Coffee, Jiminy, Beazer, right?
Yep.
And Polig.
Bob Beasley and Jim Poley.
Colby Coffee was big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was big. Yeah.
Yeah,
Played tackle.
Ed Cox.
I remember.
Good
What
guy.
a neat picture.
They're probably sophomores in 56.
Who knows?
Probably fall of 56, 57. Sophomores, maybe juniors.
Did you
Kenny
get all of them?
Yeah, we got him.
Got them all.
Kenny got a little bigger.
Well, he used to take 2 bundles of shingles right up
and
the.
climb a ladder with on
Strong.
his shoulders.
He wrestled Bruno at the Arthur Fair one time. Half drunk. Bruno threw him around.
Great neighbor. Kenny was so
Kenny's a great
kind.
guy,
Yes,
great
he
guy.
was.
We got a lot of comments on this picture.
I
Oh,
bet
yeah.
you did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's the old journal. Max
Dean.
Deems, that's Max Deems' crew.
Yeah, that's working there on North Central
Yeah.
in front of what was the old journal office down by the community building or towards that area.
Remember how they used to stamp down back in the old days before rollers, you just there and stamp that
Stamped it.
cold pack.
Yeah.
A lot of
Hard work back then.
Max Deem contractor, a lot of
Mhm.
history in contracting there.
It looks like his crew.
Yeah.
Well, that is there's our county board. That's why everybody's outside. And that guy sure looks familiar.
Boy, he does, man. The guy leaning there against the post looks familiar for the.
Well, they all, and this guy looks familiar right here.
Yeah.
Have any comments?
No, I'm still trying to figure out why they're all outside.
Almost like a deep South shot, some Tennessee Williams
Mm-hmm.
juries,
Yeah.
all white juries getting ready to render a verdict.
Reading
guy's-
some instruction to them or something.
Yeah. That's the same, that's Candy Taylor on the right. Candace Taylor.
That is Andrea.
I think you're right. Back row is Sharon Marsh, June Edwards, Wilson,
Dorothy Wilson.
not sure. Andrea Sherma, Bill says.
Well, it's kind of looks like it.
Well, it's understandable you don't know what your wife looks like.
Well, that's true. Boy, this is going to be bad if I screw this
You've
one
seen so
up.
damn
isn't
many
it?
women in your life, you can't keep them straight.
I-
Candy Taylor, we should know her. Come on.
Well, it's one of the nuns.
Oh, that's right. Ann
Yeah,
and Nell.
here's the other one down here.
Ann and Nell.
Yeah. But the one that really hasn't changed is Carol Teeters. I mean,
No.
I'd recognize that
She's same height.
face any place.
4'2".
Same height.
She's 4'2".
No,
Well, I think Sharon Marsh.
I do think that's Andrea.
Candy,
really do.
Candy Taylor looks just, you can tell that's Candy. Well, Bill's voting, that's his wife. There's that same
This is Tennessee Williams, isn't it?
Tennessee Williams. They're getting ready to hang the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
There's the
this is
angry,
The mob.
there's the mob demanding justice. Looks like George Edwards in the middle, right here with the hat. Right there, Big George.
Suppose this was an auction or something.
Could be a land auction. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Some farmer coughed it up. That guy was the auctioneer. There's that house again, and I'm telling you.
Isn't that the house across from David where you lived on Park Street? On the
I don't
corner?
recognize it.
I would venture to say that's close to it. If I'm looking back over in the right corner, you would be seeing Patty Waters.
What I like
Big
is
home,
what I
wouldn't
like.
it?
What I like is their gutter solution. They start at the front. They go all the way across the side
That's
of
a
the
good
house.
idea.
Yeah,
And take it all the way to the back.
It's a new way of doing it.
That was that gutter guy's first job.
Yeah.
This could be a house on Park Street.
There's Southward.
Yeah.
That was a strange shot of the house.
It is strange. It's just the top half of the building. Must have been shooting the roof.
Yeah. Well, it had that terracotta tile roof originally.
Kenny Snyder bought that roof.
Yes, he did. And he sold off the copper and the terracotta for some money.
Yeah.
Tore it down.
Oh, boy.
Well, that looks like Frank Lincoln up by the light, squatting.
You know, it is Frank Lincoln. Frank's going to have to see this picture. He'll tell you what it is. He was very interested as a young man. What's going on?
Well, Budge, his partner, was a state's attorney up there.
Yeah.
Is that what is that, a light fixture? I don't think
No,
that,
I don't know, but that's really classy, isn't it? I don't know what they did with those.
I was gonna say it's not there anymore, is it?
No?
Well, I think this is the, yeah, and if you look at where the front of this thing is where they used to have these bronze
Mhm.
Civil War.
Those
This
were
is
all
the west
off the
side.
soldier and sailor monument, weren't they?
It looks like it's on the west side. And they've saved those plaques. The plaques are on the mezzanine between the first and second floor when you walk
Yeah,
up.
they're inside now, but originally they were on the soldier and sailor monument, weren't they?
Right, and they moved it. The Soldier and Sailor Monument fell apart. Concrete was falling on people's heads and they had to tear it down.
Yeah.
I love that urn or tureen or whatever it is, light. That's something to cast something like that in bronze is pretty tough.
Yeah, what, like you said, wonder where that is now, because
Well, that's tremendous right there.
almost looks like a gas fixture.
Well,
Like it would have had a,
Frank right there would have been in Frank graduated about what, 56?
57. He was a class of 57.
Yeah, so this is Frank's high school senior maybe, or
Mhm. Or maybe a junior, somewhere in there.
wanted to go to law school.
Yeah.
Wound up being Budge's partner.
that Bob Taylor says lower left, Mr. Robertson, school principal in the suit.
That is, looks like I was
Jack Robertson?
Happy Jack. Happy Jack Robertson. But I don't think, but
I
Jack
don't-
Robertson was only there for I'm not sure. I think Jack Robertson was only there for my junior year and senior year in high school. No, there 2 years, wasn't he? But
He's there long enough to
Charlie
talk.
Whalen was there from 61,
Right.
to
Then Jack
62.
Robertson was 2 years,
2 years and
then
gone.
Bucko. For me.
Right. And then Brown, Wayne.
Wayne Brown came after
No,
Bucko
Wayne,
in that
Wayne's the
1
barber.
year.
Wayne's the barber.
It
He's from
was,
Oakland,
Darrell Brown.
Darrell Brown, and then
Now,
Bucko again.
That does look like Jack Robertson, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think it is.
Well, if this is 56, he wouldn't be.
No,
here.
he wouldn't be here.
Well, I'm not sure what envelope this one came out of.
Oh, man,
Or
who
Bill
is
Roach.
that?
Bill Roach.
Yeah, it's Bill Roach.
And that's
Linda Brown.
Linda Brown. And is that
Wayne Brown.
On the left is Wayne Brown, the barber, Bill Roach, Linda Brown.
Linda Brown, Betty Carlson.
Who's this on the right?
We know this guy.
Yeah, I know. He stood up at your wedding. What's his name? Oh, what's his name?
This is all very interesting.
Well, you triangulate.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. Well, you used to call it that.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
Dan
Ray.
Ponder, Marion Ponder, Raymond Lee Jr., and his lovely wife,
But yeah,
the commandery.
Commandery
Billy Lee.
Community Building.
Hinker Lee from down in Martinsville area. Well, here's a guy he dropped a quarter down on the sidewalk. He's trying to cut it out.
A good shot of the old elevator.
Yeah, got the old Fullerton elevator there.
Yeah. That's North Central Avenue.
Look at the valve on the,
That's unusual.
that is.
And this used to be the pharmacy. Looks like still has a
Right.
second story up there before it burned.
Cars look like 62 variety. This was probably
62 to 64, somewhere in there, big Oldsmobiles.
A lot of cars parked over there. A lot has changed in this scene. The elevator is no longer there. Is that a depot back there?
No, that's where they kept supplies for the railroad.
Okay. But anyway, it's not there anymore.
No.
that saw is gone.
Yes, all is gone.
Oh, man, that's a great picture.
Oh, there we love the guy.
That's Roger Kelly with the T jacket on.
This is Roger getting his parole papers.
Vietnam veteran, tunnel rat.
He was a tunnel rat.
Boy, could he run.
I can't imagine being a tunnel rat in Vietnam. It's got to be the worst job in the world.
Wayne-
Roger was long distance runner. Wayne
Yeah.
Neal was giving him, I wonder what he was giving him.
Wayne Neal? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Roger died a few years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he died. That's a good picture of Roger
Was he
Kelly.
66 or
He's
67?
66. But
Yeah.
I think maybe if he graduated, might have gone 67, but he was our class. That's what we always consider.
Yeah.
What do you call that haircut? Is that a ducktail?
That's Flying duck wedge. Or
That's called a DA, buddy.
duck's ass.
And that's a good one.
Duck's
And
ass.
if Wayne
Yeah.
Hardwick was alive, he'd tell you that's the way it's supposed to look.
Wayne's was a little better.
Wayne had the perfect.
Roger
one.
Kelly was one of the pool hall guys. We never mentioned him.
Yeah. He
But-
was right there, front and center, him and Howard.
Yeah, we hung out around with all the, we were called the dead end kids.
His
weren't we?
dad ran a taxi here in Tuscola. And at one time, I forget what he was doing. He was under a house, got bit by a brown recluse and lost his leg. They had to amputate his leg.
That's why I never crawl under houses.
That's a good idea. So that's a little bit of history.
Now we're looking back.
We're looking south.
There, the saw wasn't gone. Here it is again.
Well, it never leaves. About every year they bring the saw out and just cut concrete.
So this is what's now the vault on the right.
Right.
Yep.
And kind of see some of the buildings there in the background.
What is the deal with the standpipe? Is that a vent? See that coming up? out of
Must
there?
be.
Stabilizer?
I mean, that thing's, I don't know, that's
Yeah.
different.
You don't see those anymore. Okay, we've seen, that's Sinclair Helm on the left. This is Tuscola National Bank.
God, what is that guy's name on the left?
Oh, who's one on the right? We should know these people. This
Kind of
is,
looked like Chick Throat in a way,
well, a little bit like Chick, but I don't-
but Chick wasn't. Yeah, it was. That is
that's Sinclair Helm on the left, the
Yeah.
photo. His bank.
I think this is Country Companies.
Oh, you think why'd they have Sinclair there?
You think it's Grover?
I think this looks like where the Tuscola National Bank
It
is.
does,
that
doesn't it?
paneling looks like,
Do you have any words on this?
That's
Bob
the-
Taylor should have chimed in.
that's the football bank.
Well, that's
my
Grover
opinion-
Helm in the picture.
Grover.
And I think we have to look back. I think that may be that Pettit photo that we had of him blown up.
But the block,
Or
Is
maybe
the-
it's a painting based on the photo.
but that paneling sure looks like TNB.
Yeah, Danny
Football.
Clark Harper says Tuscola National Bank, Grover Helm picture. And then we actually have another picture, same people. I decided to keep both of them. And Todd Becker says that's his mom, Jackie Becker.
No, Jackie
That's
Becker.
Jackie?
I'll be darned.
Wow.
Who are the guys?
Well, don't have names on them.
Well, Bill McCarty would have been president then, wouldn't he? Back then?
Jackie ended up working at First Federal. Because she was down there when Bill Skinner was there,
I think she came to the courthouse eventually, didn't she?
did she?
I thought she did.
I'll ask her next time I see her in the yard.
Okay.
Well, that's a little chubber.
Somebody brought their kid into the paper, so
Oh.
you want a shot?
Barefoot.
Don't know.
There from the journal window, you can see the depot.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know
He
who.
posts things in the window. People would come up and read the window.
And not buy the paper.
and not by the paper.
I've got a bonus picture here.
We hope.
Is it Englehardt in a church?
Doubtful.
Wayne Neal and Bill Huber. And they're
Yeah.
at Wayne's house, I think.
Looks like Wayne's house, doesn't it?
My memory.
Bill had on some long socks that night.
Had a date with Tamara in that house. Wayne wasn't there.
Wayne,
No,
no, he wouldn't. You wouldn't have been there either if Wayne had been there.
No, I wouldn't.
He kind of kept guard on her, didn't he?
Well, Gary should have kept guard on Gary.
Gary sent me that picture.
Did he?
I'm trying to think. I'm guessing that's Wayne's house there on
Is that center? What street is it?
Indiana.
Wayne's got his ever faithful pipe with him.
Got his pipe, and that's a young
Bill.
Bill Huber.
Mhm.
Bill played football for Al Keish, famous coach from the 39 through 42, I think. And
What's on the lamppost there? Looks like
oh, that's a Japanese girl. My mom had one of those things. It's like an Oriental gal with a lamp. We had that.
I thought it was maybe a soldier.
No, it's a female Chinese dancer, wonton dancer. Bill tells the story. We was talking about what it was like to play for Al Keish, because you played golf with Al Keish.
Oh, I did. I played golf with Kish.
And he said, Carroll, he said, I was out of high school about 4 years. And he said, I was 5-6 years after the war, I was farming. He says, Keish called me up and said, Huber, get over here. Of course, he's his old coach, so he just run over. He said, sign here. He said, Coach, what am I signing? You're buying insurance. I don't think I need any insurance, Coach. He said, sign here. You're buying insurance. He said, I bought my first $10,000 policy from Al Keish. He said, I didn't have any choice.
And you know what? I didn't have any choice either.
Did
You
you
know
buy-
who's holding mine from? He was working for Kish, Bob Arnold.
Oh, yeah, coaches.
Yeah.
Most coaches went to sell insurance because you couldn't
Yeah.
say no. Can you imagine Gene Murray selling the insurance? Hey,
Hey.
hey,
You just bought it.
Bucko. Can you imagine Bucko selling whole life?
Oh, no. Gee, many.
Carroll, you want some accident or casualty? I don't need it. You're going to need it in about 2 minutes if you don't buy it. Old coaches. We loved them all,
Yeah.
especially Jimmy Chaplin. Love Jim Chaplin.
Well, Jim Chaplin was a wonderful
God,
person.
wonderful guy.
Did Burris sell insurance too? He sold real
He
estate.
sold real estate. He never quite
He
got
sold
into
me
it.
my house.
He did?
Yeah. The
He
house
was,
we're in
he was
now.
assessor for Tuscola. Miss Bill Burris. I miss all these
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Bill was a great guy. A lot of people we miss.
Well, I had I had Burris, Murray, Butkovich. Of course, Butkovich was principal when I was in school.
Yeah, he was.
You never had any trouble with him, did you?
No,
He mellowed out by that time.
Burris was my driver's ed teacher.
Good luck on that one.
Bucko was my driver's ed teacher.
It's funny, we were going out. Two things I remember: going out Prairie Street, like where the golf course is now. And we left town. I'm still doing 30 miles an hour, and he didn't say anything. I said, "Well, I guess I can probably speed up now, can't I?" He says, "Only if you want to get there today." We were headed to Champaign. Then another time I took a turn a little fast and kind of jostled us a little bit. Took a turn about 20 miles an hour, and he didn't say anything. And so I said, "I think I took that a little fast." And he says, "You think?"
And Bill could be sarcastic. He was, but that's better than Bucko being your driver's ed teacher. Hey, turn right. I was driving in town. I turned right. I went up somebody's yard. He said, "What are you doing?" And I hit the brakes. I'm turning right. He said, "Just for a short time," and then straightened it out. Burst was in a bad wreck one time, driver's ed.
Well,
Got hurt pretty bad, didn't he?
yeah, that was right there corner of the cemetery, I believe.
Yeah.
When but Bucko was in a bad one with wasn't that Thompson girl?
Yeah, she was a bad driver.
Ron Thompson's daughter.
She was my class.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw her one time. I hope she's not watching. But this is a true story, but she's better. She was parked at T&B parallel. And there was very little room.
Mhm.
And she backed up and rammed that car, went forward, ran that car. She went back and forth till she had enough room to pull out. I don't think she was a good driver. She's a nice girl.
Yeah.
We were headed to Champaign. He was filling candy machines with candy. Had a little burst. Had a
Oh, yeah,
little
Burst did have those vending machines.
had a little side gig going, and I thought, well, that's pretty handy to have your students drive you up there on the school's car to.
Yeah.
On school gas.
Had you owned a paper, you had yourself a front page story there.
Mm-hmm.
Bucko used to have you drive up Champaign to go get ice cream.
You know what Arnold did? All he did was have you drive to Arcola and identify where all the girls live.
Yeah.
Who did that?
That's gospel. Bob Arnold,
Hmm.
basketball coach here from about 63 to
Why
68, something like that.
60, I played for him in 64 and 65, 2 years.
I guess, when you think about it, other than the fact that it gives your business a little bit of maybe an unfair advantage, but you're giving kids the driving experience to drive to Champaign. You're going up there anyway. Might as well kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I mean, Arnold coached, like I said, I think from 63-4 to 67 with Doug McCumber's class. And then got hired at Mount Vernon, based largely on our success from our days.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the Final Four in the state with Nate Hawthorne. 6'4" center.
Southern, yeah.
6'4" center, black guy.
Yeah, really good ball player.
Nate to skate.
Went to Southern to play basketball.
And then Bob wound up he went out with Harv Schmidt and bought some franchises. What did Harv Schmidt have? Arby's?
Out in Colorado.
And then he wound up selling oil wells. And he called McCumber one time, and Doug and I were going to meet him. He was flying going back to Mount Vernon. We were going to watch Mount Vernon play East St. Louis Flyers, Alfonso Ellis, and who was the big forward? Kunzel Martin. Kunzel Martin, and we drove down with Bill Vangle and Sam Banks were the referees. Doug and I drove down with them. Sam Banks is a great guy. He's on the school board in Champaign now.
Yeah, you put him on there.
He ought to straighten them out. He's the most reasonable, easygoing guy in the world.
He's smart.
Yeah.
I ran a newspaper in Mount Vernon for 6 years.
Yeah. Well, Bob was down there in, like I say, probably late 60s when they went to state. 68, 69. Final Four is a pretty good deal. But you can't win the state with a 6'4" center, 6'3" center,
No.
even though he jumps.
No.
Chicago schools will get you. Well, David, you got the same kind of batch next week?
Yep, same kind of.
Well, this was fun.
Now, when did you put those on Facebook? Because has there been time for comments?
About 3 o'clock this morning.
Okay, so some people have looked at them then.
Yeah. I haven't put, for next week, I haven't put those up yet.
Well, I've got this far in life without doing Facebook. How about you?
I'm still here. I'm still here. How did I get all this? That's signing your will there.
Yeah.
What are you, whose ashes are in those urns behind you?
Well, I got a start. Those are my dogs, and there's room for me. Urns. Oh, those are Roseville Futura vases, about 1910.
Huh.
Art Deco. They're open at the top.
Yeah.
Becky will probably seal it with some sealing wax when my time comes.
Mhm.
Put me in there.
Yeah.
Stuff you in there.
I've signed all the papers.
Yeah, we've signed all the legal documents today. Bill was my witness.
Mhm.
Huh.
Did I pay you witness fee?
I'm hopeful that that will happen.
You hope there a hamburger in your future?
Yeah.
We've decided we're donating our bodies to science.
Yeah,
Hey, it's free.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have they'll cremate you afterwards for free and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
send the remains back if you want them,
Yeah, good.
or somebody wants them.
What do you think they do with you and I? Just study our brain to see why we did what we did?
And they might keep us a while.
This brain is basically oatmeal.
I'd like to have that one picture back today.
I just
Classic,
Oh, man.
the golden triangle.
it'd
Isn't
be
that-
kind of interesting if you know to know where your body ends up and how it's used, but by that time I guess you won't know. It'll end up where it ends up.
Well, you may.
I hope you don't know.
Well, you don't know. Well, it's like they say, no sense. You can't take it with you to heaven. And somebody says, well, what if you get up there and St. Peter goes, "Where's your stuff? I gave it all away." Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll have a podcast in heaven.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, tie vote.
I don't- Yeah,
We can agree to disagree.
yeah, I don't think so.
Podcast days are about over.
Um,
David, who you got lined up to follow Bill and I on this? You're gonna try and get Mishner and, well, you get Marcy can do it.
I can get
Mishner
Bob
can do it.
Taylor.
Bobby Taylor can do it.
I don't have anybody lined up.
Well, don't wait too long. We're not spring chickens. I hope that's Andrea, by the way.
Truer words never said. Boy, I'm telling you what,
If that's not Andrea,
if that's not her, I'm in deep doo.
well, you don't recognize your boys.
Someone, well,
You don't recognize your boys.
Dorothy Fiedler Wilson would recognize her, I think.
But if you don't recognize your own boys when they pop up, why would you recognize your wife?
Well, that's true.
I watched a roast of George Burns the other day, and one of them made a comment about his age and said, you're no chicken. And then she said, from what I hear, you're not much of a rooster either.
Yeah, George
Burns.
went back to work at age 88, I think. And they asked him why in the world he went back to work because he had plenty of money. He said, because golf is not fun anymore now that I'm retired.
Mm.
Golf is only fun when you slip out of work.
Mhm.
And I thought, yes, that's true. I play less golf now than I ever have now that I'm retired.
George and Gracie.
She was funny.
Oh, man, they were funny.
He was a straight guy and
Yeah.
she was the
She
dingling.
was a dingling.
Comedic genius.
That's when we really enjoyed TV.
Black and white TV in the late 50s.
Someone's going to have to help me on this TV situation.
Well, just
Price
get,
keeps going up.
oh, yes. Yeah, Bill doesn't know what to do.
Well, we
what do you have, a
did
Roku?
cable years ago. All we have is internet TV.
Cable's about gone, isn't it?
There's still cable attached to our house. I'm getting ready to cut it off.
Well, Bill's got to get a smart TV, but then he's got
Mm-hmm.
to, first he's got to find out what a smart TV is.
Mhm.
Then he has to get a computer and some routers and a modem so that he can run his smart TV through his
Well,
computer.
I knew I was going to be in trouble when you got a smart TV and the guys from the Geek Squad came down and it took over 2 hours to put it together.
I bought a smart TV and the Geek Squad guys are programming and said, okay, what's your iSlam on your wand nut? I said, what? My iSlam on my wand nut? I mean, it was like Chinese arithmetic, you know? What's your call sign on your tubulars? I didn't know anything. They said, come on. I said, I turned my computer on and that's it.
Give me your 12 passwords.
Never mind, we were watching an old episode of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And this woman clearly was not. they had a question if one kid stood on the other shoulder, they'd be 2.5 yards tall. How many feet is that? And she says, well, there's 352 feet in a yard. And she says, no, I know this. I took chemistry. And
I told you Becky and I were in Chicago a long time ago, and she was doing consulting for Cook County Public Schools for special ed. And I roamed downtown, nothing to do. So I remember walking around and I got fixated on how big these buildings were and trying to calculate what their real estate tax should be. And I was at the John Hancock Tower and I counted the floors and it tapers in. So I counted the windows and I adjust for the taper. And then I went inside. Becky and I went inside and there's an elevator to the top and there's a couple of guides. Two girls were guides. And they had literature. I said, well, by the way, I was trying to figure out how big the John Hancock Tower is. Do you know? She goes, I think it's 3 centimeters. And I said,
it's big.
I said, what? I think it's 3 centimeters. I said, really? She goes, Janie, isn't the John Hancock Tower about 3 centimeters? She goes, yeah, I think it is. So I calculated how many square foot it was. I tried to apply Douglas County values to the cost. I came up with a real estate tax bill of about $5 million a year. Then I tried to calculate how much corn it'd hold. Then I went to the parking lot where we paid $39. This was 20 years ago, $39 a day.
To park.
4 decks. I counted the parking spots and I multiplied that. I did an income approach and that thing's got to play, $800,000 a year. I was really had a lot of free time on my hand.
Too much.
Free
time.
But I had chemistry though. So
oh boy.
3 centimeters. I got that from two people. So yeah, I'm not worried about the future. Are you? With our young kids?
Well, there's always someone like that just I remember years ago going to a garage sale and it happened to be an attorney's house and she was there having a garage sale and she couldn't make change. She couldn't calculate it. And you get a law degree.
Years ago, I haven't been to the movie theater in 5 years, but the last time I went, I bought popcorn and Coke and they said it was $12.03. So I gave him a $20 bill and I said, here's 3 cents. She just freezes like I shot her with a shotgun. I said, here's 3 cents. So I gave you $20.03. It's $12.03. Owe me $8. And she just looked at me. And she looked at the machine and she looked at me and she called her boss over and explained it. He got a calculator out, worked the calculator. And I mean, I'm sitting there going, it's $8. It's $8.
We used
that's
to have,
why I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a second because I hear people complain a lot of times about this new math and they can't help their kids. And it's like, that's a good example of why they're teaching the new math, because it's a lot of times it breaks it down into tens and it's what we do in our head. If something came to $12.40, if you're doing math, you and I, with a $20 bill, we'd take 2000 and put the 1240 underneath and we would carry and we would do the math. But in your head, if you're making change, you think, okay, 1240, 60 cents makes it 13, $7 and would make it 20, $7.60. You come up with a lot faster by adding it up to the tens than you do the longhand subtraction, that we were all taught to do. So it's
well, but we were drilled. We were drilled with multiplication and division tables.
Mm-hmm.
It became, it's like typing, it's like falling off a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike or type. And so it's just automatic that our brain just pulls the tables up
Right.
and does it.
Mimeograph from sheets. Remember that Best Monday? Gee, that's
We
every
had,
day.
we had a friend the other day that said he was borderline dementia because he couldn't, they gave him a number, like 85,719. And an hour later, they said, give us that number backwards. So he failed. So he gave Bill the number. And so about 5 minutes later, Bill goes, blah, 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 and he spits it back. So the next day I saw Bill and he spit it back to me again, showing off. So yeah, but don't you think some of it was what they stressed in school and grade school?
Sure, absolutely.
I think forget new math, if they just push the multiplication division tables.
You remember in the spelling books, how they would always incorporate English certainly, but they'd also incorporate a little bit of history in it or something. There was always something with your spelling lesson in the book itself. And then we got the brilliant idea of, let's drop the book. We don't need the book. Just give words. Well, that does a lot of good.
Well, why are the grades so low in America? I mean, I think America rates 36 in the world based on these standardized STEM tests in engineering. And you read about this stuff, like 1% of Chicago kids don't grade out at math or science. Is it
They say they go to school longer in like your
what's happened over 60 years, David, if you have a soapbox theory?
Well, I don't know. I think it's been a steady decline on some of that. Some of it is there's so many things like you're talking about multiplication tables. We're so used to using calculators and computers. There's so much that we don't have to keep in our heads anymore. That it's at your fingertips.
Well, somebody said the dumbing down of America, the story of Google. And you're right, everybody's losing their skill sets, And Bill and I will have ours till the dementia picks up.
What I worry about is somebody's got to program those things. And if you don't have those skill sets, how are you going to program?
What scares me, since everything is computerized now, all it takes is one hacker to shut the nation down.
Well, and then I was going to add a lot of that programming now. AI can do a lot of the programming for you.
Yeah.
No appreciation.
Well, that's good. Good thing about being old, isn't it, Bill?
That's a good thing about being old. We won't have to worry about it.
Are you leaving, Bill?
Getting ready to empty my water.
I guess we ought to sign off.
Well, if Bill's leaving, it's just you and I, Dave.
Got golf later on this afternoon.
Looks like we're gonna have to hang it up, Dave.
We'll run out for a sandwich.
We got our day planned, David.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week, God willing.
Creek don't rise.
And the creek don't rise. Yep. All right. See you next week on Remembering Tuscola.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David.